Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. So I know that a lot of you guys have concerns about the fourth stimulus check, your unemployment benefits, and as well as the social security increase. So in today's video, I'll be going over the latest news surrounding your fourth stimulus check. So you want to be sure to stay to the end of this video. First, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
Instead of giving every break in the world to corporations and CEOs, by the way, 55 of our largest companies in America paid $0 in federal taxes on more than $40 billion in profit last year.
Now, income from Social Security is subject to federal income taxes for certain beneficiaries. Individuals with less than $25,000 in combined income or married couples with less than $32,000 do not have to pay taxes on the benefits. Combined income is actually calculated by using the adjusted gross income and non-taxable interest income and 1/2 of Social Security benefits. So here's what Speaker Pelosi is saying, everybody, about the infrastructure bill, which might include a fourth stimulus check, because President Biden does want to do something called social infrastructure. Now folks, here's what you have to know. The House did plan a vote to advance two key economic proposals, as centrist Democrats and party leaders failed to break a stalemate over how to proceed with President Biden's economic agenda. Biden's domestic policy goals and his party's push to retain control of Congress could hinge on whether Democrats find a compromise. Now everybody, the Democrats have to agree with Republicans on several things, such as the fourth stimulus check, as well as infrastructure.
Of the House, and in this case, a budget that is consistent with the values of our country. Thank you, and thank you to the Chairman Jim McGovern, for his leadership as well, and to each and every member of the Rules Committee. We have to salute them on both sides of the aisle for the time they put in and how they facilitate the work of the House. Madam Speaker, today is a great day of pride for our country and for Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi must do her job in uniting both parties. Now, Nancy Pelosi has pushed to pass a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill and her party's separate $3.5 trillion spending plan at the same time. This process could take weeks or months, as the House needs to join the Senate in passing a budget resolution before lawmakers write a final proposal. 9 members of Pelosi's caucus are enough to cost her a majority vote if they defect. And this urged the California Democrat to approve the Senate-passed infrastructure legislation this week, and then send it to President Biden's desk. Pelosi, by the way, folks, wants to pass a pair of bills to ensure that centrist Democrats are wary of a $3.5 trillion price tag.
As did many from our allies and partners. Months ago, President Joe Biden made the courageous and right decision to end this war, because we had achieved what we went there to do. Over these past weeks, the United States has been focused on safely evacuating American citizens, international partners, Afghans who worked side by side with us, and other Afghans at risk. We are laser focused on the task at hand, and we are extremely grateful.
So the stakes are very high for Biden's top legislative priorities. The president and his staff have called a variety of House members, including centrist holdouts, to advocate for Pelosi's plan and stress that both the infrastructure and budget bills are critical to his agenda. So Democratic leaders do plan to promise that the House will vote on the infrastructure bill by September 27th. And we already know that Nancy Pelosi has said for months that these two bills must move side by side. Dozens of progressives say they won't support the infrastructure bill without the bigger spending bill, while moderates are most interested in passing the infrastructure package into law. At the heart of the standoff is a bid for leverage over the multi-trillion-dollar bill. Progressives want to pass a sweeping expansion of the safety net, paid for with tax hikes on corporations and the wealthy. Centrist Democrats are weary of this, and of course the $3.5 trillion price tag that comes along with it.
And in fact, we're going to expand benefits for the millions of people who desperately need it. There is a lot of misinformation going on in terms of Social Security. Number one, anyone who tells you that Social Security is going broke is not telling you the truth.
Now, surrounding the fourth stimulus, folks, here's what I want you to know. In the state of California, they have approved 2 round stimulus checks for state residents. and it will go to 2/3 of the population in the state. In order to receive this payment, you will need to file a tax return this year. California did send out the first round of Golden State stimulus back in February of this year. Now, this first stimulus check was targeted to lower income Californians making less than $30,000, and residents who file taxes in a state with an ITN. Now, in regards to the Republicans, here's what they're saying about the fourth stimulus check. GOP has opposed the trillions of dollars in spending and the tax hikes on corporations and the wealthy contained in the plan. Now, though they do not need Republican support, Democrats do have a tiny margin for error. They will need to win all 50 members of the Senate and all but 3 Democrats in the House. Centrists in the Senate have taken issue with the proposed $3.5 trillion price tag. The budget plan would also expand Medicare coverage, extend strengthened household tax credits passed last year, create incentives to adopt green energy, broaden paid family leave and medical leave, and boost access to child care. Now, Biden does see this as a complementary to the infrastructure plan, and the bipartisan bill would also put $550 billion in new money into transportation and broadband, as well as utilities. Here's the latest news surrounding Social Security benefits. The Social Security cost of living adjustment will likely be much bigger next year. So the Social Security COLA for 2022 potentially will be the biggest in 40 years. Estimates indicate that the annual boost could be 6.2%, prompted by rising inflation. But rising prices on grocery stores and as well at the gasoline pumps are not the only reasons why these bigger monthly benefit checks will likely not go far.
And as the chairman mentioned, we came back from our district work period where we continued to see the transformational benefits of House Democrats and President Biden's policies having a positive effect on people in our communities. By passing a generational tax cut for middle class and working families, we're seeing substantial drops in child poverty. We're seeing Americans hold on to more of their hard-earned dollars. I was pleased over the work period, just like many of my colleagues, to see $21 billion in rental assistance go out into our communities. And our goal has been to help alleviate the COVID-19 crisis. And it has always been to keep our communities safe and strong and help them make ends meet. But we're seeing policies that we have passed here make a real difference on the ground. And as the chairman mentioned, we'll address the landmark reconciliation package, the historic infrastructure agreement, and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. These pieces of legislation all represent continued progress and a commitment for delivering results for the American public. With that,